Good morning, my friends, and happy holiday of Passover, of Pesach. I will start this night connection by reading from the Zohar, from the Book of Splendor, the Book of Light. Few verses, then we'll start the special study. שירותה דה, אב לחולה, אב לחולו הבאן, התחברו דה בדה, ונהירו דה בדה. כד התחברו, הולידו, והתפשטת מאמנותה, בהגדתה דבי רב יבא סבא. החיתני מהו בינה, אלא כד התחבר דה בדה י' בה', התעברת והפיקת בן, והולידת, ובגין כך בינה יקרה בן, י' כשלמותה דחולה. השתכחו תרביו דמתחברן, ובן בגבי וכללה דחולה בתיקוניו השתכח שלמותה דחולה, אב ואם, בן ובת. מילין אילן לה התחייבו לגלה, בר לקדישי ליונין דעלו ונפקו וידעינו חוי דקודשה ברכו, דלה שטן והוא לימינם ולשמאלה דכתיב, כי ישרים דרכי השם וצדיקים ילכו בם וגומר, זכאה חולקי דמן דזך אלימין דאורחוי ולה סתה ולה תהיה בהו. דמילין אילין סתימין אינון וקדישי עליונין נהירין בהו כמן דנהיר מנהירו דבוצין עלי התמסרו מילן אילן אלא למן דעל ונפיק דמן דלעל ונפק תבלה דלה עברי דעה גליה כמה עתיקה קדישה סתימה דכל סתימין דמילין אילין נהירין בליבי בשלמותה דרחימותה ודחילו דקודשה ברכו ואילן בני דהכה ידענה והוא דהה עלו ונפקו והתנערן באילן מילין ולה בחולהו והשתה התנהירו בשלמותה כמה דצטרך זכאה חולקי מהון באו אלמה. Okay, my friends, good morning everyone. Usually we do this night connection, early morning, night is again this time frame between midnight and dawn. As the kabbalists are teaching us, this is the best time to communicate with the light, to communicate with our soul, and to get messages, to get elevation of the spirit. This is the most powerful time during the day. I mean, between midnight and dawn. So here in Israel is 4 a.m. plus few minutes, which is still not dawn. So we're doing the connection today, and usually we do this connection on Friday morning as a preparation for Shabbat, for the light of Shabbat, to create a bigger vessel, a more powerful desire for the light of Shabbat. But today is a very special day, is the Hilula, is the day of elevation of Rab Yehuda Tzvi Brandwein, the great kabbalist that basically was the student of Rav Ashlag, the founder of Kabbalah Center, and the teacher of Rav Berg, our teacher, the teacher of Kabbalah Center, the Rav, together with Karen, of course, created this amazing platform of spiritual work, opened the gates of the wisdom of Kabbalah to the whole world. So today is the day that this great Kabbalist left the world. I will just say in few words for those of you that are new to this, and also for those that are not so new to this. First of all, what is a Kabbalist, and why is the day of elevation of a Kabbalist is so important? What's important? So this specific Kabbalist died or left the physical world, left the physical body 1969 on this day. So why is it so important? So first of all, we need to understand a Kabbalist is not like a rabbi, right? It's not just someone that has a lot of knowledge or is a very religious person. The wisdom of Kabbalah is discussing transformation of the self. We know that we come to this world with what is called the desire to receive for the self alone. We are very selfish creatures, and according to the Kabbalist, being selfish is basically not much different than being like an animal. That's the level, right? And not offending the animals that they are selfish. The animals are in many levels more pure than many people, okay? But we as human beings, we have one advantage, or it can sometimes be disadvantage on the animals, that we can choose. If we choose, we can choose to transform our nature and to slowly let go of the selfish nature and transform it into a nature of sharing, which eventually will, once this process of transformation is completed, or to a certain level of completion, then we start to communicate with the world which is beyond or above the physical reality. The purpose of transformation is not just to be a good person, not just to be a nice person that is sharing with other people. There are many people that are sharing and they're doing a lot of beautiful actions of sharing, and it's all good and amazing. But according to Kabbalah, the reason why we do it, so what is the reason to transform the nature, is not to be just a nice person that is okay with his neighbors, is like not leaving the garbage at the door or whatever, is because as long as we are still selfish, or to the level that we are still selfish, we cannot really communicate with what is called the light force of God, or this reality that is called the tree of life reality, the reality which is beyond the physical, the reality where there is only peace and harmony and happiness and joy, what my teacher Rab used to call it the flawless universe, a reality with no flaws, a reality with no damage, only perfection. We cannot feel perfect, and we cannot communicate with this perfect reality as long as we are not transformed enough. And the Kabbalist basically showed us the most precise way how to transform our nature, so eventually when we are transformed enough, we can start communicating to a bigger or wider degree of communication with this endless, flawless reality, which means we can feel better with ourselves. We can basically draw wisdom, divine wisdom. We can see things that maybe most people cannot see. We can feel other people next to us, their happiness, their pain. We can really be there for them, and that's basically why we're doing this process of transformation. Now, a kabbalist is a person that transformed his nature by many years of hard work, and also by the nature of his soul. Was most likely originally very elevated soul, but also did a lot of work for many years, that eventually became so pure. So this person became like a channel of the upper worlds. And it says, Kabbalists are teaching us that the day when the Kabbalist leave this world, meaning pass away, pass on, then this is the day that he completed his journey on this physical reality, and he left. But basically at the day he left, it's called the Hilula. The day it's a Hilula is a day of joy, is a day of celebration. How can we be so joyful when someone dies? But according to Kabbalah, when the Kabbalist is leaving this world, it means that he left, he like created a channel, an open channel that is being open in every day, like once a year, in the day of his Hilula, this channel of perfection, this channel of light, all the spiritual work that the Kabbalist achieved in his lifetime is becoming available for us to connect with. So basically, there's almost every day there is Hilula of another Kabbalist. So maybe we can do a night study every day. But for us, as students of Kabbalah Center, basically there are few days like this in the year that are more meaningful, because it's connected with teachers of Kabbalah, meaning with Kabbalists that basically took upon themselves to spread the wisdom of Kabbalah, to spread the Zohar, the book of Kabbalah, and so on. So Rab Yehuda Tzvi Brandwein was, of course, one major part of this lineage of kabbalists that took upon himself to continue the work of his master, of Rab Yehuda Ashlag, and to continue disseminating the Zohar, the wisdom of Kabbalah, but again, as a way to assist other people to transform their nature. So eventually the vision of Rab Brandwein was to achieve a world of peace and harmony with no chaos and no war and no pain and no suffering, only love and joy for all humanity, for all mankind. And I thought, you can talk or look at the life of a kabbalist. So the way we connect is by the way we study about the kabbalist. We learn as much as we can about the nature of the kabbalist, what he did, and by having more consciousness of the kabbalist and also reading from his writings, what he wrote, what he said, we would like to connect to it, and also to another level to commit to follow his footsteps, to continue the legacy of the kabbalist, what he left for us. So I thought to look at few points of basically of the life of Rab Brandwein, of his writings. I will share a few things from his writings, and I would like to start from a very, very special section I read actually recently that was written by our teacher Karen Berg. I don't know if you know this, if you're familiar with this book. That is basically the last book that Karen Berg wrote. For now, hopefully many more books will come out. Two Unlikely People to Change the World. It's basically the story of the way Rab Berg got familiar with Kabbalah and how eventually together with Karen, both of them created the Kabbalah Center, the way it looks today, and basically you just need to know all the organizations that are teaching Kabbalah today. There are many, all in one way or another are connected with the Kabbalah Center, originated in the mindset of the Kabbalah Center. But it all started with 1 second, the meeting between Rab Berg and his teacher, Rab Yehuda Tzvi Brandwein, that happened in 1962 in Jerusalem. So the story goes that basically Rab Berg, back then he was not even called Rab Berg, he was called Rabbi Philip Gruberger. That was the name of Rab Berg, our teacher, the head of Kabbalah Center. Was called Rabbi Philip Gruberger, and he was a businessman. He was into insurance business, real estate, and things like that. And then his mother passed away, and she was buried in Jerusalem. And then Rabbi Philip Gruberger, was like after he buried his mom, was sitting there. It's called Shiva, the 7 days of mourning after the burial of his mother. And then Rab Brandwein, who was a family member, he was a relative of the family, he came to console the people, the family who was mourning. So I will read from the words of Karen Berg. I will just share the words. It's so beautiful. And then what we can learn from it and what we can receive from it for us. It's on page 31 of this book. Once you have it, or if you have it, it goes like this. My husband, Karen is writing about her husband, Rab Berg. My husband would always describe the moment he met Rab Brandwein as a pivotal event in his life. Before that time, Kabbalah was as foreign to Philip Gruberger as the surface of the moon. Since the Orthodox tradition frowned on the study of Kabbalah, he had steered clear of this dangerous subject. But all this was about to change. Meaning the Rav came, he was already a rabbi, and he was very highly Orthodox Jew, rabbi, and he had no connection with the wisdom of Kabbalah. He knew about it, he knew that it exists, but he had no desire or no connection to this wisdom. When Rab Brandwein's hand touched his in a handshake, so Rab Brandwein is coming to the house where all the family is mourning, is sitting for 7 days after the burial of the mother, and then he's shaking the hand of the Rab. He just shook the hand of the Rab. This was the first time ever they ever met. They didn't know each other before. So when Rab Brandwein's hand touched his in a handshake, my husband experienced a jolt of energy, an outpouring of light running from this gentle rabbi directly into Philip Gruberger's body. He described himself as just melting away. It was like he was comforting my soul in his wonderful warm hands. It was indeed an amazing feeling. I had no explanation of that most memorable first encounter. Okay, so first of all, to understand the power of the kabbalist, and maybe if we merit either today or someday in the future to have something of this experience, but I'll talk about it in a second. Also, what happened at that moment when they just shook hands, first time in their life they're meeting. Okay, Rav Philip Gruberger was back then 35 years old. In that instant, Rabbi Philip Gruberger understood that Rab Brandwein would be his teacher, and that his life would never be the same. The man he had known himself to be dissolved. Everything that had defined him disappeared in that moment as he stepped into the alternate universe. Rabbi Philip Gruberger left this plane, and in his place, the seed of the person who would become Rav Berg began to incubate. Beautiful words, beautiful section, I love it. And what's the idea here? What is a kabbalist, and how can a kabbalist has such an influence on other people? Is it something that he's doing is like some kind of hypnosis? Is it something that is doing in mind control? Let me control your mind. I'm hypnotizing you. No way. Why? Because the essence of a kabbalist is what is called no agenda. I don't want anything from you. If you want something in return, if you have some agenda, if you want someone to be your student, let's say you meet someone and let's say you are a teacher and you want someone to be your student. If you want this person to be your student, you have an agenda. You already have an agenda. Meaning why? Because I want you to be my student. Even if you mean for the good. Yes, I want to teach you, I want to help you grow. Still, you have an agenda. The whole essence of a kabbalist is a person that has zero agenda, no agenda. He's only there for sharing. Now it seems like, simple, right? Come on, it's very simple. So I have no agenda, I just want to share. It's not so simple, my friends. Is a level of spirituality that has been achieved, again, like I said before, in many, many years of hard spiritual work, that eventually, like the work is what the Kabbalist is doing on himself, internal work, that most of this work is something that no one from outside can look. He goes for shopping, he's doing things, he's studying, he's working. Rab Brandwein himself was working for many years as a construction worker, and he always spoke highly about working and earning your own money and so on. It was very important value in his life. But you could look at him and say, okay, it's just a highly orthodox Jew, and you can never tell the work he's going through from inside to wash away his ego, to wash away any selfish traits, any selfish, desires, and eventually, and of course, using all the tools of Kabbalah, the study of Kabbalah, and the work that is needed with many tools that we have in the wisdom of Kabbalah that can help, can assist to do this work, this inner work, but eventually to get to this level of purification that you can stand in front of another person and want nothing from him. Nothing from him. Rav Berg explained it in another book, in another book he wrote many years ago, that what this creates, once one soul, one individual has zero agenda from the other person, even if the other person is not in this place yet. So it creates a fusion of those two souls. Basically, it creates a circuit of energy between the kabbalist, which is the pure sharing channel, the receiver, which is the person that is not in this level yet, and the light of the creator, the light force of God, of the universe, that is being channeled through the kabbalist into this person. And that happens only in this condition that the kabbalist, the channel, is 100% pure. Now we can be, we can say beautiful words, we can do all kind of tricks, like how to talk in front of people, and how to convince, and how to sell, and all these things, and it might work, but it will not create this fusion, it will not create this bond of souls. And that was what Rav Berg, or back then Rabbi Philip Gruberger, what he felt at that moment. He felt this fusion, and he didn't know how to put it in words back then, but he felt it. And that's more than enough to feel this kind of feeling. So first of all, what I would like, what I can only recommend, during this day, from now till sunset of Sunday, when the soul of Rab Brandwein is here, is available, you can ask, sit quietly after the study, sit quietly and ask, you can light a candle. If you didn't do it yet, you can light a candle, because a candle is an element that uniting the physical and the metaphysical. And then you can actually have a conversation with Rab Brandwein, talk to him, visualize like Rab Brandwein is standing next to you, and ask Rab Brandwein to touch you, to touch your heart, to touch your soul, to open up something, because this great soul, is here to share. Is here to share from his essence and to open up something. And till that meeting again, Rabbi Philip Gruberger, he was a businessman, and that was his direction in life. He was not fulfilled all the way. He never felt like even that he was very successful, but he never felt fulfilled enough. But this handshake with Rab Brandwein completely changed everything, because that moment of fusion is not just that you feel good, wow, feel the light. At that moment, you see the whole picture, because in the light, in what we call the light, the tree of life reality is above time, space, and motion. You can connect to who you are completely. You can connect to everything that belongs to you, which usually is so concealed from us. Now, just to remind all of us, we are in the beginning of a time called the counting of the Omer. Right? The counting of the Omer, these these 49 days between the first day of Pesach and the holiday of Shavuot, 7 weeks, which is considered to be days of smallness, days of narrowness, days that our consciousness become like of a selfish child again, and we need to kind of work on it. And it's not a coincidence that there are few major Kabbalists that left the world during those 7 weeks, and they're here, they're coming every year in their day of Hilula. They're coming to support us, that we can elevate from where we are and to connect to our true greatness, to connect to our full potential. We have in few weeks, we have Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, right? We have Lag BaOmer. This is one of the most special days of Kabbalah. So again, the idea is that we can basically find a time, even a few minutes during this day before sunset, and make our own special connection with Rab Brandwein, to try to ask. Maybe we'll have the merit that he will open up something inside us, so we will feel this flow of light like the Rav felt when he first met his teacher. From this, I would like to continue to a certain study that sorry, it's here. So many books. So this is the study that Rab Brandwein shared with the Rav. We know that the Rav Berg was in contact with Rab Brandwein for 7 years, from 1962 till 1969, and much of this connection, since the Rav was living in the United States and Rab Brandwein was in Israel, so much of this connection was through letters, right? No emails, no Zoom connection, Facebook Live, letters. And those letters, basically, those of you who know, Michael Berg, the son, Rav Michael Berg, the son of Rav Berg, found many years ago, he found those letters in his father's library, and he took upon himself this project to translate those letters and basically interpret them and so on, and that created a book. It's called in Hebrew Yedid Nafshi. Those of you that are familiar with this book, it's called in English the beloved of my soul. What is beloved of my soul? The friend or the beloved of my soul. This is the way Rav Brandwein used to address his student, Rav Berg. Beloved of my soul. This is almost every letter that he used to write. He used to open. I will just read. This letter is from 1965. It says, "Many blessings and happiness to the honorable beloved of my soul, the most favorable man, my teacher and master, our teacher and master, Shrag of Fable. May the light of God shine upon you." And this is how he used to open each of his letters, with so much love, with so much, even like appreciation and awe. Like now he's the master and he's writing to his student. You can write like, okay, hi, how are you doing? Like usually we do, you add some icon of heart at the end, and that's it. But he was so like overwhelmed and flooding his student with love. And the idea is, I'm going to read a section from his letter 22, and by this you can understand this idea of this amazing love that was poured from Rav Brandwein to his student all the time, not just saying it in words, but in actions, in thought, in anything. Was like what he said was not just to write it, like to be nice. It's really how he felt towards his student, and most likely, thanks to this kind of attitude, Rav Berg became Rav Berg that we know. He became such a great kabbalist that actually, together with Karen, changed the world and spread the wisdom of Kabbalah and the Zohar in such an amazing way. Why? So I'll read the words of Rab Brandwein, and it says like this: פירוש הדברים הוא להרגיש את האור של תשובה מאהבה, צריך האדם להתאים את עצמו שירגיש את עצמו שלם. He says, in order to feel the light is called the light of love, meaning that there are few levels in which the light is being revealed, the light of God is being revealed, and this level is called, the most elevated level is called the tshuva me'ava, repentance out of love, without going to all these details, but basically what it means that you feel that it's the light of completion, it's the light that everything is there, meaning no lack, only love. You feel only love. It's like, imagine that you feel, I don't know, when was the last time you felt, I don't know, the universe is so full with love towards you personally, like God loves you personally so much. From time to time we might have a glimpse of this kind of reality, but here we're talking about this pouring love from the Creator to each one of us. And he says, in order to feel this pouring love from the light towards us, one should adapt himself to feel himself complete. Meaning, if you want to feel that God loves you, if you want to feel the perfection of the universe, you need, first of all, to understand that you are perfect. You need to adapt yourself to this perfected light. Okay, it says, כי אחרת אין ברוך מדבק בארור. This is a very important rule in the spiritual work. Baruch, blessed is the light, cannot attach himself to the cursed. Meaning, if you feel cursed, if you feel I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, you know what? Even if you have you have a list of proofs that you can prove to yourself that you're not good enough. You did mistakes. You are angry. You are reactive. You don't talk nice to people. Whatever. You have a list of proofs. You know why I'm not worthy of the light. I'm not worthy of the light of love. Why? Because I don't love myself. I'm not perfect. Now, truth is, nobody is perfect. Nobody is. This is why we're here. We're here to correct. We're here to become slowly, step by step, to become more perfected. I don't know if ever to be totally perfect. I don't know if there was anyone completely perfect. Even Moses did mistakes. Everyone did mistakes and so on. But he says the light, which is the essence of blessing and love, cannot attach himself to someone that feels not worthy, or in his words, aru, meaning cursed. If you feel cursed, meaning you curse yourself, you limit yourself because you think you're limited, because you think you're not worthy. He says, ומי שמרגיש בעצמו שעודנו רחוק מלהיות שלם, he says, if you feel that you're so far away from being perfect, like you're totally the opposite of perfect, ועל פי רוב בזמנים אלה בא היצר הרע דווקא לבלבל את האדם, and in these times the evil side is coming to confuse the person. הוא מזכיר לו את כל החסרונות והצרות והעוונות, and remind you all the lack and all the wrong deeds you did. You know, in those moments that you are feeling you're beating yourself up, and then suddenly you remember, yes, but when I was 15 years old, I did this and that, and when I was, and you remember all the bad things you ever did. Suddenly you remember all the bad things you ever did, right? They come, like suddenly you have amazing memory and remember everything bad you ever did in your life. Why? Is because this negative side, it's called the evil inclination, the dark side, the opponent, is sending you all these thoughts to put you down. כדי להכשילו להביאו למצב של עצמות, so you will be sad and you will fail in your life. ואין השכינה שורה מתוך עצבות, and the light cannot dwell upon you when you are sad. The light of God, which is the essence of love and joy and happiness and perfection, cannot attach himself to you when you feel down. And he says, העצה לזה הוא שלוקחים כלים בהשאלה. And then it's a whole other concept which I won't go into, but he says like borrowing a vessel, meaning you should kind of connect to the perfection, to the perfected version of yourself. It's possible to do it. You can connect to it. You can do meditation and connect to your perfection side. But I think one of the most amazing blessings and gifts that we can receive from Rab Brandwein this day is the connection to our perfected side. You know, I'm sure when Rab Brandwein wrote to Rav Berg, beloved of my soul, and so on, like Rav Berg was not perfect, back then, I don't know, maybe later on was more perfected, but he was not perfect. He had all kind of issues. But Rab Brandwein knew that if I want my student to fulfill his potential to the maximum level possible, I must make him feel perfect. I must help him, support him, so he will feel perfect. So he will feel more perfected. So then the light can be bestowed upon him, and then he can manifest his potential. So many times we are busy when we educate, let's say, our kids and so on, and I see it also many times on myself. Like you kind of judge people around you. You judge your kids, you judge your spouse, and you like, let me show you how wrong you are. Let me show you what you need to improve. And even you do it from good intention. Yes, I want to help you to transform. But the truth is that the most important technology or way how Rab Brandwein helped Rab Philip Gruberger to become the great Rav Berg that we know that changed the world and spread the wisdom of Kabbalah in the world is by showing him how great he is, and to bestow love upon him, and to make him feel perfected. Because only when you feel perfected, or you feel perfect, only then the light can dwell upon you. So this is something we can ask from Rab Brandwein in our personal connection we'll do with him later today, is to help us to feel more perfect, to help us, because and there's this beautiful story that Rav Berg used to share, that many years ago he did Shabbat in Tzfat with his teacher, Rav Brandwein. So they were walking Saturday morning, Shabbat morning, they were walking in the streets of Tzfat, the city of Kabbalah in the north part of Israel. So it was Rav Brandwein, his son, which was like a young boy, and Rav Berg. And they were walking in the street, and suddenly a tourist bus stopped, and people came out of the bus, and Israelis, it was like a tourist bus of Israelis, and they were like, it was Saturday, and you need to understand, for the highly Orthodox people, is not okay to drive during Shabbat. Shabbat is a day of rest, and basically you should not maybe use electricity, you should not light fire, and all kind of things. You cannot drive your car. You should, most of the days, a day of prayers and connection and enjoy and rest. So people went out of the bus, and the tour guide, he came to Rab Brandwein, and he asked him, he saw this rabbi wearing this black stuff, and he's like, this might be a good chance to know the city. So he came to Rab Brandwein and asked him, can you please show us around? We are tourists, we came from wherever, and would like to, I'm sure you know the city better than me. So Rab Brandwein said, sure, come with me. And they start walking, and he showed them all kind of interesting places in Tzfat, all walking, and did like a nice tour in this beautiful city. And eventually they said, thank you so much. They went up to the bus and drove away. And then Rav Brandwein's son asked his father, but father, I don't understand. How could you talk to these people? Don't you see they drive the car on Shabbat, they smoke cigarettes when they light fire, they use the cameras, like, come on, obviously they are not observant Jews, they are not religious. So why did you give them so much energy? Why did you give them so much attention? Like, you should, avoid from talking to such people. And Rab Brandwein, what he answered to his son was amazing. He answered to his son, I don't, are you sure that's what happened? I didn't see all these things you're telling me. I didn't see all these flaws that you're trying to tell me. I saw only beautiful souls that need light. That's what I saw. So I gave them light. You understand? That's the point of view of a kabbalist. It doesn't see your flaws. And for sure you have flaws. But you see each person, that was also the gift of Rav Berg, that's the gift of Karen. They look at someone, they see a pure soul that needs the light. Also need correction, that's true. Need to transform, that's true. But the fact you need to transform doesn't make you less perfect. It's like you look at your baby child trying to walk, and he's falling, and he stand up and he fall down. So what, you're angry with him? Oh, how can't you stand up straight? It's not okay. No, he's just learning how to walk, so you just have love towards him. That's the whole idea. And today, the universe is open by the presence of this amazing soul of Rab Brandwein, so each one of us will feel this love and compassion from the universe and from Rab Brandwein, so we will feel so perfected. So only then we can manifest our true potential. Not by being harsh on ourselves and beating ourselves up and I'm not good enough and oh, I need to transform, I'm full with my ego. No, I feel like, yes, I know I have ego, so what, it makes me less perfected or less pure or less deserving the love of the Creator? No. And this is one amazing gift we can get from Rav Brandwein. And I'll touch one more point shortly. Now it's usually I try to keep 30 minutes. Today it's a bit longer. And this is, but really shortly, there's an amazing article. It's called the Kri'a Manalat Yeshiva Kol Yehuda. This is a calling and a wake-up call from the Kabbalah Center management. It's called the Kabbalah Center used to be called the Yeshiva of Kol Yehuda, the voice of Yehuda. Yeshiva, and later on it became the Kabbalah Center. And this is a calling that was written by Rab Brandwein, that is awakening us, trying to awake us, each one of us, to commit more to the study of Kabbalah, which this was the essence of Rab Brandwein, like the love, unconditional love, and service to others, and to spread the wisdom of Kabbalah, to spread the Zohar. I will read few, it's very long, I will read only few lines from it, and also to awaken each one of us, to awaken myself, and to awaken each one of you watching, to have more commitment to the study of Kabbalah, to the connection to the Zohar and the writings of Kabbalah, to the dissemination of the Zohar and the wisdom of Kabbalah, to each one of us to take him or herself to another level of commitment to this so important work. So he says, and he's quoting from many kabbalists, but I will read a little bit. והנה ידוע הוא כי הגורם לכל האיסורים הנוראים של עניות וחרב ביזה והרג רחמנא ליצלן ומפאת חוסר השתדלות בלימוד חוכמת הקבלה. He says, it is known that the cause to all the great pain and suffering of poverty and war and crime and death is only because of lack of effort in the study, in the connection to the wisdom of Kabbalah. And he quotes many Kabbalists that are talking about this idea that the only reason why this world and our lives look so chaotic is because there's not enough effort, each one of us. And every time I read this, I kind of wake up and say, wow, I'm not doing enough for sure in pushing myself to the study of Kabbalah. And he says, and then he says, ואפילו הוא בעל עסקים גדול במשא ומתן וכדומה וטרוד הרבה, לא יפתור מעסק חוכמה זו. He says, even if you're a great businessman and you're very busy with negotiation and so on, and you have no time, still you cannot let go, you cannot just let go of the business of this wisdom. ותשתדל לקמוץ זמן מהיום בשאר דברים ולימודים, למען יישאר לך זמן לעסוק בחוכמה זו, כי יסודי התורה וכו'. He says, and you should try to collect moments during the day from other things, like if you waste time on, I don't know, internet, TV, whatever, or other things that are not so important, maybe, spare some moments so you will have enough time to deal with this wisdom, because this is the basic of everything else. And where else? Now, it is quoting from many sources of kabbalists that are basically talking about the importance of the study of the writings of Kabbalah. And finally he's writing, אתם כולכם החפצים לרומם את קרן ישראל וקרן התורה והיהדות לקרב קץ גלויותינו, you, all of you that have passion to elevate the consciousness and the wisdom, and to bring the end of the exile, and to bring the redemption, meaning the end of pain and suffering. הבו, בואו, חושו לקחת לקח מתורת השם מחוכמת הקבלה. Come, join us, hurry up to take your portion in this divine wisdom, the wisdom of Kabbalah. אשר היא ורק היא מסוגלת להביא פדות וישע לנפשנו, because only this wisdom is capable of redeeming our soul, ולהשיב לב בנים על אבותם, and to bring our hearts back into their right place. לשמור התורה כחוקה והלכתה. חסכו כמה שעות משעות היום, spare some hours from the day and the night, ועיתות הערב, למען ספוג את הדברים הקדושים האלה, so you can absorb these holy words of the wisdom of Kabbalah. And he says a little bit more, ואלה שלמרות רצונם וחשקם ללימוד קדוש זה אין באפשרותם לבוא אל ישיבה. And those that even that they have a lot of desire to study, but they can still it's not possible for them to come and study, שימו לבכם אל המטרה הקדושה והנשגבה, put inside your heart and into this cause of spreading this wisdom of Kabbalah, ותמכו את ישיבתנו למען נוכל להמשיך למלא ולהוציא לפועל את הרחבת והפצת לימוד חוכמת האמת, and support our effort so we can continue and manifest the spreading of the wisdom of truth, of the wisdom of Kabbalah, meaning to support, to donate, to volunteer and so on, to actively push yourself so this wisdom will be disseminated. So my friends, I think this is, again, there's two main ideas today: to feel the love of the Creator towards us through this amazing channel called Rab Yehuda Tzvi Brandwein, to feel the greatness of our soul and our basically great potential, what we can achieve and what we basically can push ourselves towards in our lifetime, and also to awaken our hearts, our souls to greater commitment to the study and to the dissemination of the Zohar and the wisdom of Kabbalah. May the merit of Rab Yehuda Tzvi Brandwein will support us and heal our souls, and also, of course, support the healing of this world and anyone who needs healing. Thank you so much for joining me, and have an amazing day. Chag Sameach, all my love. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.